Hello everyone! Last episode, we established the problems insurance and annuities are meant to solve and the logic of the three-layer structure. Today, I will use commonly discussed tools as examples to demonstrate the roles insurances and annuities could play, while also clearly explaining their limitations and boundaries. Before discussing specific tools, an important reminder. None of these strategies are universally appropriate. Used thoughtfully, they may support planning goals. Used incorrectly, they can restrict flexibility. Tool 1. Indexed Universal Life Insurance IUL. IUL is designed to address planning needs that traditional investments and retirement accounts often struggle with, especially lifetime protection, tax flexibility, and stability during volatile markets. It is permanent life insurance, not an investment, and its cash value grows on a tax-deferred basis with returns linked to a market index while avoiding direct market losses. IUL is meant to help families manage risks that investing alone cannot reliably control, such as sequence risk, longevity risk, and the need for flexible, tax-efficient cash flow later in life. At the same time, IUL has clear limits. Growth is capped, costs matter, and long-term results depend heavily on proper design and realistic assumptions. When misunderstood or poorly structured, it can add complexity instead of control. That is why IUL is not a replacement for investing, but a supporting tool when used in the right role and at the right level within a broader wealth system. Tool 2. Registered Index-Linked Annuities RILA. RILA is designed for situations where full market exposure becomes harder to manage, especially as investors approach or enter a spending phase. Their link returns to a market index, but unlike direct investing, downside risk is defined in advance through buffers or floors, while upside potential is limited by caps or participation rates. RILAs are not meant to provide guarantees or stable income. Their purpose is to help investors stay invested while controlling volatility and reducing the impact of large market declines on long-term plans. In exchange for downside protection, investors give up some upside and liquidity. When used properly, RILAs function as a volatility management tool within the growth portion of a broader wealth system, not as a replacement for traditional investments. RILAs have limited liquidity and are not designed for short-term cash needs. Results depend heavily on product design and holding period, and exiting early, especially during market stress, can lock in poor outcomes. When used to solve the wrong problem, RILAs add frustration instead of control. Tool 3. Qualified Longevity Annuity Contracts CLAC. CLAC is designed to solve the problem that investing alone cannot reliably address income certainty in very old age. As people live longer, portfolios and withdrawal strategies, especially those subjects to required minimum distributions, often provide little assurance about cash flow in later retirement. CLACs allow a portion of retirement assets to be set aside to generate guaranteed income starting at advanced ages, reducing reliance on market performance and helping manage longevity risk. At the same time, CLACs come with clear trade-offs. They significantly reduce liquidity, provide no benefit if income is needed earlier, and involve opportunity costs if the assets could have been used more flexibly elsewhere. When overused or poorly coordinated with the rest of a retirement plan, CLACs can limit adaptability rather than enhance security. Important caution on marketing claims. Some annuity promotions emphasize headline numbers without explaining trade-offs. For example, a stated payout rate does not equal investment return. Understanding where the income comes from is more important than the percentage quoted. This is why product comparison alone is insufficient without structural context. You may have heard claims about annuities that pay 10 per year with income starting immediately. The real question is not whether a 10% figure exists, but where the 10% comes from, because if $1 million pays out $100,000 a year, the principal is largely returned within a decade. So-called high payouts do not represent high returns. They usually come from trading longevity for cash flow, using accounting bases to create the illusion of yield, or front-loading income at the cost of lower payments later. Insurance and annuities are not universal solutions, and in many cases, they should not be used at all. If income is unstable, liquidity is limited, or you are still focused on accumulation, locking capital into long-term structures is usually inappropriate. And when insurance is treated as an investment, disappointment is almost inevitable. Advisor vs. Insurance agent. In addition, many people often ask me about the difference between an insurance agent and a financial advisor. Both financial advisors and insurance professionals play valuable and complementary roles. An insurance agent typically focuses on matching specific products to defined risks. A financial advisor, by contrast, is a system designer and focuses on coordinating assets, risks, and decisions across life stages. The distinction lies in scope and responsibility, not professionalism. Closing thoughts. Let me conclude this series with 3 sentences. Insurance is not simply insurance. Insurance cannot replace investing. Structure and decision-making matter more than products. My role is not to recommend specific tools, but to help families evaluate trade-offs within a coherent system. If your challenge is not which product should I buy, but how do I prioritize decisions under uncertainty, then structural planning may be the missing piece. I hope this insurance and annuity topic could help you to clearly understand which assets need stability at different life stages, which risks should not be left to the market, and which decisions are best made in advance. Once those questions are clarified, the products themselves often become much simpler. If you would like to assess your family's risk profile and financial structure, you're welcome to reach out. Thank you for your attention. I'll see you next time.